Follow your passion. Chase your dreams. Do what you love and the money will follow. You've heard it 1,000 times. From teachers, from influencers, from successful billionaires on stages. So you believed it. You went all in. You picked the career that excited you. And now, you're struggling. You're exhausted. You're watching people who took the boring path buy houses while you can't make run. Here's what nobody told you. Passion is not a plan. Passion is a trap. I'm going to destroy everything you believed about following your dreams and show you what actually works. Following your passion is a trap. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. You were set up to fail. Not by accident, not by bad luck, by bad advice. Advice that sounded beautiful. Advice that felt right. Advice that has kept millions of people broke, frustrated, and confused. Follow your passion. 3 words. Sounds harmless. Sounds inspiring even. But these 3 words have destroyed more careers, drained more bank accounts, and crushed more dreams than any economic recession ever could. And the worst part? You trusted the people who told you this. Think about it. Where did this advice come from? Steve Jobs stood on a stage and told Stanford graduates to follow their hearts. Oprah told millions to find their calling. Motivational speakers made fortunes selling books about purpose and passion. But here's what they forgot to mention. Steve Jobs was already a millionaire when he gave that speech. Oprah had a media empire backing her every move. Those motivational speakers were selling passion advice to you, while their accountants followed a very different strategy. They told you what sounded good, not what actually works. When a billionaire says, do what you love, they're speaking from a mansion. They have investments. They have safety nets. They have backup plans you'll never see. You don't. When you follow that same advice, you're not jumping with a parachute. You're jumping with hope. And hope doesn't pay rent. This is the first layer of the lie. The advice came from people playing a completely different game than you. But it gets worse. Let's talk about passion industries, the creative fields, the dream jobs. Film, music, art, gaming, photography, social media, non-profits. What do all these have in common? Millions of talented, desperate people willing to work for almost nothing. This is basic economics, supply and demand. When everyone wants the same job, wages collapse. Employers don't need to pay well because there's a line of passionate people behind you ready to take your place for less. I've seen it happen countless times. A talented filmmaker working 14-hour days as a production assistant, making $150 per day. No benefits, no security, no future. But hey, they're in the industry. A skilled graphic designer doing $50 logos on Fiverr while competing against thousands of other designers willing to do it for $20. A passionate musician playing gigs for exposure while the bar owner pockets the real money. This is what passion gets you. Exploitation wrapped in inspiration. The industries that sound exciting are designed to take advantage of your dreams. They know you want it. They use that against you. Meanwhile, the boring industries are begging for workers and paying premium wages. But we'll get to that later. First, let's talk about how deep this lie goes. It started early, way before you entered the workforce. Remember kindergarten? What did adults ask you? What do you want to be when you grow up? And they wanted exciting answers. Astronaut, movie star, professional athlete. They smiled when you dreamed big. They encouraged fantasy. Nobody asked, what skill can you develop that the market will pay well for? Nobody said, what problems can you learn to solve that people need solved? That's not inspiring. That doesn't fit on a motivational poster. But that's reality. Then came school. Then came college. Guidance counselors pushed you toward your interests instead of market demand. Universities charged you $100,000 for degrees in passion fields with no job prospects. And social media made it even worse. Every day your feed shows you influencers living their dream, creators doing what they love, entrepreneurs following their hearts. What you don't see, the 99% who tried the same thing and failed silently. You see the survivors. You don't see the graveyard. This is called survivorship bias, and it has poisoned an entire generation into thinking passion equals success. It doesn't. Success requires something much more boring, something much less glamorous, something we'll explore in the chapters ahead. But first, understand this. The lie was sold to you by people who benefit from your belief in it. Universities profit from your passion-driven enrollment. Employers profit from your willingness to work cheap. Influencers profit from selling you the dream they may not even be living themselves. You walked into a trap designed for you. The good news? Now you see it. And what you can see, you can escape. Chapter 2. My passion is just a feeling. Let me ask you something. What were you passionate about 5 years ago? Think about it. Really think. Maybe it was photography. Maybe it was gaming. Maybe it was starting a clothing brand. Maybe it was fitness. Maybe it was travel blogging. Now ask yourself, are you still passionate about it today? For most of you, the answer is no. That thing that consumed your thoughts, that dream that kept you up at night, that passion that felt like your entire identity, gone, faded, replaced by something else. And that's the problem nobody talks about. Passion is not permanent. Passion is a feeling, and feelings change. Think about how emotions work. You feel excited about something new. The novelty is intoxicating. Everything feels possible. You imagine the future. You see success. You feel alive. But then, time passes. The excitement fades. The reality sets in. The thing that once thrilled you now feels ordinary. Boring, even. This is not a flaw in you. This is human psychology. This is how every single human brain operates. We adapt. We normalize. We move on. The relationship that once gave you butterflies now feels routine. The car you dreamed about for years, after 6 months of owning it, just a car. The city you couldn't wait to move to, after a year, just another place. Passion follows the same pattern. Today's obsession becomes tomorrow's obligation. So why would you build your entire career around something this unstable? Why would you bet your financial future on a feeling that has an expiration date? It makes no sense. And yet, millions do it every single day. But here's where it gets worse. Let's say you actually do pursue your passion as a career. Let's say you turn your hobby into your job. Let's say you monetize the thing you love. What happens next? The thing you loved starts to feel like a prison. This is the cruelest part of the passion trap. When your passion has to pay your bills, it transforms completely. Let me give you an example. Imagine you love photography. You spend weekends taking photos. You love the creativity. You love the freedom. You love capturing moments. So you think, why not make money doing this? You start a photography business. You get clients. You're excited. Then reality arrives. Now you're not taking photos you want to take. You're taking photos clients want. Boring corporate headshots. Awkward family portraits. Weddings where the bride is demanding and the timeline is impossible. You're not creating art anymore. You're fulfilling orders. And you're not doing it when inspiration strikes. You're doing it on deadlines. Every weekend. Every holiday. While your friends relax, you work. That camera you once loved picking up, now it feels heavy. That editing software you enjoyed, now it feels like a trap. The passion is dying, slowly, painfully. And the worst part? You can't even enjoy photography as a hobby anymore, because now it's associated with stress, with clients, with money pressure. You monetized your joy and murdered it in the process. This happens everywhere. The musician who loved playing guitar now resents writing jingles for commercials. The writer who loved storytelling now dreads churning out blog posts for clients who don't appreciate good writing. The gamer who loved playing now forces fake enthusiasm on streams for audiences that might never come. The artist who loved painting now rushes commissions to make rent. Passion plus financial pressure equals resentment. This is not theory. This is documented psychology. When external rewards like money get attached to internal motivations like joy, the internal motivation dies. Scientists call it the over-justification effect. You start doing something for love, then money enters. Now your brain thinks you're doing it for money. The love disappears. Simple, predictable, devastating. Now here's something interesting to consider. Think about the most valuable skills you have right now. Were you passionate about learning them? Probably not. Were you passionate about walking as a baby? About talking? About reading? About basic math? No. You learnt these through repetition, through necessity, through discipline. Nobody asked toddler you if walking was your passion. You just did it. You fell, you got up, you tried again, you mastered it. Most of your valuable skills were built the same way. You weren't passionate about learning to drive. You needed to get places. You weren't passionate about learning Excel. Your job required it. You weren't passionate about developing social skills. Life demanded it. Passion was never part of the equation. Necessity was. And yet, you're competent at all these things. So why do we believe passion must come first for career success? Because we were sold a fantasy that work should feel like play, that Monday should feel like Saturday, that your job should be your identity. It's a lie, a beautiful, profitable lie. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Work is work. It can be satisfying, it can be meaningful, it can even be enjoyable at times, but it's still work. And the people who build wealth understand this. They don't chase feelings, they chase competence, they chase market value, they chase financial security. The feeling of passion? That comes later, after the mastery, after the money, after the freedom, not before. So stop waiting to feel passionate about something before you commit to it. Stop changing directions every time excitement fades. Stop believing that passion is a compass. It's not. It's a weather pattern. Here today, gone tomorrow. What you need is not passion. What you need is a plan, a strategy, a skill the market values, a path to financial freedom. And once you have that freedom, then, and only then, can you afford to follow your feelings. Until then, your feelings will keep you poor. That's not pessimism, that's reality. And reality is where wealth is built. Chapter 3. The passion tax is real. Let me introduce you to a concept that will change how you see the job market forever. It's called the passion tax, and you've been paying it without even knowing. Here's how it works. When a job sounds exciting, when it feels creative, when it's something people dream about, the pay drops dramatically. Why? Simple economics. Too many people want it. Supply exceeds demand. Employers don't need to pay well because there's a line of passionate people behind you, willing to work for less, willing to work for free, just for the chance. You're not being paid for your skills, you're being charged for your dreams. That's the passion tax, and it's everywhere. Think about the film industry. Thousands of film school graduates enter the market every year, all passionate, all dreaming of Oscars and Sundance and creative freedom. What do they get instead? Production assistant jobs, 14-hour days, $150 flat rate, no overtime, no benefits, no security. Why would studios pay more? There's an endless supply of dreamers ready to take your place. They know you want it. They use that against you. Meanwhile, the guy who repairs the studio's air conditioning system, he's making $85 an hour, full benefits, union protection, consistent work. He's not passionate about HVAC, but his bank account doesn't care. Now think about marketing. Everyone wants to work at the cool agencies, the ones with ping-pong tables and creative briefs and brand campaigns for Nike. Those jobs pay 30 to 40% less than boring corporate marketing roles. Why? Because boring doesn't attract dreamers. Nobody fantasizes about marketing industrial equipment. Nobody puts B2B software campaigns on their vision board. So those companies pay more. They have to. Less competition, higher wages, same skills required. The passion tax in action. Let me give you real numbers. A social media manager at a trendy lifestyle brand in Los Angeles, $45,000 per year, maybe $50,000 if you're lucky. A social media manager for a plumbing supply company in Ohio, $65,000, plus benefits, plus normal hours. Same job, same skills, different tax. One pays for passion, one pays for work. Now let's talk about non-profits. Everyone wants to make a difference. Everyone wants meaningful work. Everyone wants to save the world. Non-profits know this, and they exploit it ruthlessly. We can't pay much, but think about the impact you're making. The salary is low, but the mission is priceless. We're a family here, and families sacrifice for each other. Translation: we know you care, so we'll pay you less. The passion tax isn't just about money, it's about leverage. When you desperately want something, you have no negotiating power. The employer holds all the cards. They can lowball you, overwork you, disrespect you. What are you going to do? Leave? And go where? Every other passion job pays the same. You're trapped by your own desire. But here's what's fascinating. The industries nobody dreams about, they're desperate for workers. Waste management, septic services, industrial cleaning, pest control, HVAC, plumbing, electrical work, trucking, welding. These fields are begging for people. Baby boomers are retiring. Young people aren't replacing them. The labour shortage is real and getting worse. So what happens when demand exceeds supply? Wages rise, benefits improve, companies compete for you. A skilled plumber today can earn $80,000 to $120,000 per year. A specialised welder can clear $100,000 plus overtime. An HVAC technician with experience writes their own ticket. No passion required, just skill and willingness. Let me give you a concrete comparison. Meet Jake and Marcus. Same age, same city, same high school. Jake followed his passion, film. He went to film school, $80,000 in debt, graduated with dreams. 5 years later, he's a freelance videographer, hustling for gigs, making $35,000 in a good year. No benefits, no retirement savings, living with roommates. Marcus followed demand. He became an electrician. Trade school cost $15,000. Apprenticeship paid him while he learned. 5 years later, he's a licensed electrician making $75,000. Full benefits, retirement contributions, owns a small house, weekends free. Jake is passionate. Jake is struggling. Marcus is practical. Marcus is thriving. Who made the smarter choice? The passion tax took everything from Jake. It gave everything to Marcus. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but I don't want to be a plumber. I don't want to do boring work. I want my work to mean something. And I hear you, I do. But let me ask you something. What's meaningful about being broke? What's purposeful about financial stress? What's fulfilling about working twice as hard for half the money? There's nothing noble about struggling. And here's the secret nobody tells you. Meaning comes from competence, from impact, from freedom. When you're excellent at something, anything, it starts to feel meaningful. When you solve real problems for real people, it feels purposeful. When you have financial security, you can actually enjoy your life. The plumber who fixes a family's broken pipe on Christmas Eve, he feels pretty meaningful in that moment. The electrician who wires a new hospital, that matters. The HVAC tech keeping elderly people warm in winter, that's impact. Meaning isn't exclusive to passion careers, but poverty is exclusive to people who ignore market reality. So here's my challenge to you. Stop paying the passion tax. Stop competing in overcrowded markets where your dreams are used against you. Start looking at where the demand is, where the money flows, where companies are desperate for help. That's where opportunity lives. That's where wealth is built. That's where smart people go, while passionate people stay poor. The passion tax is real. You've been paying it your whole life. Time to stop. Chapter 4. Mastery creates passion, not the other way around. Everything you've been told about passion is backwards. You were taught that passion comes first. Find what you love, then get good at it. Discover your calling, then pursue it. Feel the fire, then follow it. But that's not how it actually works. The truth? Passion comes after mastery, not before. You don't become passionate about something and then master it. You master something and then become passionate about it. This changes everything. Think about your own life for a moment. Remember learning something new, something difficult, something you had zero passion for at the start. Maybe it was driving. You didn't love it at first. You were nervous, confused, frustrated. But then you got better. You passed your test. You could go anywhere. Suddenly, you enjoyed it. Maybe it was a subject in school. You hated math. It made no sense. Then one teacher explained it differently. You started getting answers right. Your grades improved. Suddenly, math wasn't so bad. Maybe even interesting. This is the pattern, every single time. Struggle first, competence second, enjoyment third, not the other way around. Cal Newport is a professor at Georgetown University. He spent years studying how people build careers they love. He wrote a book about it, and his findings destroy the passion myth completely. Here's what he discovered. Passionate workers didn't start with passion. They started with curiosity, sometimes just necessity. They committed to getting good at something. They built rare and valuable skills. They became excellent. And then passion arrived. Not day one, not month one, sometimes not even year one, but after competence came, after mastery developed, after they became valuable, passion followed. Newport calls it the craftsman mindset. Stop asking what the world can offer you. Start asking what you can offer the world. Focus on becoming so good they can't ignore you. The passion will come. This is backwards from everything society teaches, but it's how successful careers actually work. Let me give you an example. Think about surgeons. Do you think they were passionate about surgery at age 18? Passionate about memorizing anatomy? Passionate about 36-hour residency shifts? Passionate about years of grueling training? No. They were committed, disciplined, determined. But after years of practice, after thousands of procedures, after becoming masters of their craft, something changed. Now they love it. Now they can't imagine doing anything else. Now they're passionate. The passion came after the mastery, 15 years after. Here's another example. I know an accountant. Let's call him David. David didn't dream of accounting as a child. Nobody does. He chose it because it paid well and jobs were available. Practical reasons. Boring reasons. First few years, he didn't love it. It was work. Just work. But he committed. He studied. He got certifications. He specialized in tax law for small businesses. Year 5, something shifted. He started solving complex problems, saving clients thousands of dollars, becoming the person everyone recommended, building a reputation. Year 7, he realized something surprising. He actually enjoyed this. The puzzles, the strategy, the impact, the respect. Year 10, he was earning $200,000 and genuinely passionate about tax law. Tax law. Passionate. Those words don't belong together, but there he was. The mastery created the passion, not the other way around. Now here's why this matters for you. If passion comes from mastery, then you're free. Free from waiting to discover your calling. Free from searching for that perfect career that excites you. Free from the endless cycle of starting things and quitting when passion fades. You can choose something practical, something valuable, something the market pays for. Then commit. Get good, become excellent, and watch the passion develop naturally. This is freedom. Real freedom. Not the freedom of doing what you love and staying broke. The freedom of choosing strategically, building deliberately, and letting enjoyment arrive on its own schedule. But most people won't do this. Most people want passion up front, guaranteed, before they commit. They want to feel excited on day 1, month 1, year 1. And when that excitement fades, they quit. They pivot. They start over, again and again and again. They're passion seekers, and passion seekers stay poor. Meanwhile, the mastery builders get rich, and eventually get passionate too. They just trust the process. So here's my question for you. What if you stopped searching for passion? What if you picked something valuable and just got extremely good at it? What if you trusted that the enjoyment would come later, after the competence, after the results, after the money? How different would your life look in 5 years? The answer is completely different. You'd have skills the market values, income you can count on, security you can feel, and probably Something that looks a lot like passion. Not the fake passion you felt at the beginning of every new shiny idea. Real passion. Built on excellence. Built on results. Built on years of compound growth. That's the passion that lasts. That's the passion that pays. That's the passion that actually means something. Stop chasing the feeling. Start building the mastery. The feeling will find you. Chapter 5. The 40-Year Rule. I'm about to give you a timeline, a framework that separates people who build wealth from people who chase dreams and stay broke. I call it the 40-Year Rule. And it's simple. From age 20 to 40, your job is to build. Build skills, build income, build security, build wealth. From age 40 onwards, you get to choose. Choose passion, choose purpose, choose whatever you want. But not before. Before 40, passion is a luxury you cannot afford. Let me explain why. Your 20s and 30s are your foundation years. This is when your earning potential grows fastest. This is when compound interest works hardest for you. This is when career momentum builds. Every smart decision compounds for decades. Every stupid decision also compounds. Choose passion at 25 with no money? That choice echoes through your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. Choose strategy at 25 instead? That choice builds a foundation that supports everything you do later. The math is brutal and unforgiving. Let me show you. Imagine two 25-year-olds. Same intelligence, same potential, different strategies. Person A follows passion, becomes a freelance photographer, works hard, really hard, makes $35,000 per year. Some years more, some years less. Inconsistent. No benefits, no retirement savings, no safety net. Person B follows money, becomes a sales rep for a medical device company. Not exciting, not creative, but earns $75,000 per year to start. Commission bumps it higher, benefits included. 401k matching, steady growth. Fast forward 15 years, they're both 40. Person A has earned roughly $525,000 total over 15 years. But after expenses, rent, gear, taxes, savings are minimal. Maybe $30,000 in the bank. No retirement account. Still hustling. Still stressed. Still one bad month away from crisis. Person B has earned over $1.2 million total. With discipline, savings and investments have grown to $400,000 or more. Home equity building. Retirement on track. Options everywhere. Same 15 years. Radically different outcomes. Now here's where it gets interesting. At 40, person B can finally choose passion. Want to quit and start that photography business? Go ahead. You have runway. Want to take a year off and travel? Your investments cover you. Want to open that small coffee shop you always dreamed of? You can afford to fail. Person A at 40? Still trapped. Still hustling. Still unable to take risks because there's no safety net. They followed passion first, and passion kept them prisoner. Person B delayed passion, and delay created freedom. This is the 40-year rule in action. Now I know what you're thinking, but 40 is so far away. I don't want to wait that long. I want to live now. And I get it. I really do. But let me ask you something. How's living now working out for the broke, passionate people you know? Are they traveling? Are they free? Are they enjoying life? Or are they stressed about rent, anxious about next month, watching their friends hit milestones they can't reach? Living now without financial security isn't living. It's surviving. Real living requires money. Real freedom requires options. Real choice requires a foundation. And that foundation takes time to build. 20 years sounds like a lot, but it passes anyway. You'll be 40 regardless. The question is, what position will you be in when you arrive? Struggling and still chasing? Or secure and finally choosing? Let me give you a real example. I know a man who spent 20 years as a corporate lawyer. High stress, long hours, not his passion, not even close. But he was strategic. He lived below his means, invested aggressively, built his net worth deliberately. At 42, he walked away, completely. Now he runs a small used bookshop in a quiet town, makes almost nothing. Doesn't matter. His investments generate more than enough. He reads all day, talks to customers who love books, closes early when he feels like it. He followed money first, then passion, and now he lives the life that passionate people dream about but never achieve. That's the 40-year rule. That's what strategic delay looks like. That's the reward for patience. Here's what I need you to understand. I'm not saying abandon your interests completely. I'm not saying become a robot who only cares about money. I'm saying sequence matters. Passion pursued from poverty is desperation. Passion pursued from wealth is freedom. The activity might look the same, but the experience is completely different. The broke photographer is stressed about every client. The wealthy photographer takes only projects they love. The struggling musician plays gigs for survival. The secure musician plays gigs for joy. Same work, different lives. Money changes everything, not because money is the goal, but because money is the tool that buys time, buys options, buys freedom. So here's your assignment. Forget passion until 40. Spend the next 10, 15, 20 years building the foundation. Skills, income, investments, security. Then, when you've won the money game, go chase whatever your heart desires. You'll have earned it. You'll have paid for it. And you'll actually get to enjoy it. That's the 40-year rule. Follow it, and freedom awaits. Chapter 6. The Unsexy Millionaires. Let me introduce you to some millionaires. But not the ones you see on Instagram, not the ones on magazine covers, not the ones giving TED Talks about purpose and passion. These millionaires are invisible. You pass them on the street without a second glance. They drive trucks. They wear work boots. They smell like grease and sweat and effort. And they're richer than most people you admire. I call them the unsexy millionaires. And they're everywhere, hiding in plain sight. Let me tell you about Mike. Mike owns a septic tank pumping company. Yes, septic tanks, human waste, the stuff nobody wants to think about. Mike started with one truck, did the dirty work himself, answered every call, showed up when others wouldn't. 10 years later, Mike owns 12 trucks, employs 15 people, grosses over $2 million per year, nets around $600,000 personally. Mike hasn't pumped a tank himself in 5 years. He manages, he grows, he counts money. Is Mike passionate about septic tanks? About sewage? About waste? No. Mike is passionate about freedom, about wealth, about providing for his family. Septic tanks are just the vehicle, the unsexy, unglamorous, incredibly profitable vehicle. Now let me tell you about Sandra. Sandra noticed something in her city. Commercial buildings needed their parking lots cleaned, swept, pressure washed, maintained. Nobody dreams about parking lot maintenance. No kid puts that on their vision board. Sandra started a parking lot sweeping company. Today she has contracts with shopping malls, office parks, apartment complexes. Revenue? $1.4 million per year. Profit margin? Over 30%. Sandra works about 25 hours a week now. Her crews do the labour. She does the strategy. Is Sandra passionate about parking lots? About sweeping? About asphalt? She's passionate about the lake house she just bought, the college funds for her kids, the retirement that's fully secured. The parking lots? Just a means to an end. These stories are not exceptions. They're the rule. The people building real wealth in America are not doing glamorous work. They're running junk removal companies, pest control operations, portable toilet rentals, vending machine routes, laundromat chains, self-storage facilities, unsexy businesses, sexy bank accounts. Why does this pattern exist? Because nobody competes in these spaces. Every ambitious young person wants to start a tech company, a creative agency, a personal brand, a content business. They flood those markets, drive profits down, fight over scraps. Meanwhile, the boring industries sit wide open. Low competition, high demand, steady cash flow. The unsexy millionaires understand something most people don't. Business is not about passion. Business is about solving problems people will pay for. And some of the most expensive problems? They're the ones nobody wants to touch. Garbage needs removal. Pests need elimination. Toilets need fixing. Drains need unclogging. These problems don't disappear during recessions. They're not disrupted by technology. They're not subject to trends. They're permanent, profitable, waiting. Here's another example. I know a guy who started a grease trap cleaning service. Restaurants produce grease. Grease traps need emptying. Regulations require it. He goes restaurant to restaurant, empties the traps, charges $200 to $500 per visit. He does 8 to 10 jobs per day. Do the math. He's clearing $400,000 per year, working by himself, no employees, no overhead. His friends with cool jobs at creative agencies, they make $60,000 and complain about burnout. He works fewer hours and earns 6 times more. The unsexy path wins again. Now I want to ask you something uncomfortable. What's really stopping you from considering these paths? Is it that they don't pay? They pay better than almost anything. Is it that they're too hard? They're simpler than most businesses. Is it that there's no opportunity? The opportunity is massive and growing. No, what's stopping you is ego. You don't want to tell people you clean grease traps. You don't want to explain your septic tank business at parties. You don't want the unsexy label. You'd rather be broke and impressive than rich and invisible. And that is exactly why you're struggling. The unsexy millionaires made peace with something you haven't. They stopped caring what others think. They started caring what their bank account shows. They traded ego for income, image for freedom, cool for cash. And now they live lives most people only dream about. So here's my challenge to you. Look around your city. Look at the problems nobody wants to solve. Look at the industries nobody talks about. That's where your opportunity hides. Not in the crowded creative spaces, not in the passion industries, not where everyone else is looking. In the unsexy corners, the dirty work, the boring businesses. That's where millionaires are quietly made, every single day. Chapter 7, the 80-20 strategy. I'm going to give you a practical framework now, something you can implement tomorrow, something that balances reality with dreams, something that actually works. I call it the 80-20 strategy. Here's how it works. 80% of your time and energy goes to income-generating work, the practical stuff, the money-making stuff, the stuff that pays bills and builds wealth. 20% of your time goes to exploration, your interests, your curiosities, your side experiments. That's it. Simple, powerful, life-changing. Let me break it down. The 80% is non-negotiable. This is your foundation, your day job, your primary income source, the skill or business that puts money in your account consistently. This 80% should be chosen strategically, not based on passion, based on market demand, based on earning potential, based on growth opportunity. Protect this 80% with your life. Don't dilute it with distractions. Don't resent it because it's not exciting. Don't neglect it because something shinier caught your attention. This 80% is buying your future. Every hour you invest here compounds into security, options, freedom. Most people get this wrong. They give maybe 50% to their money-making work. The rest scatters across hobbies, side projects, passion pursuits that generate nothing. They wonder why they're always stressed about money, why they can't get ahead, why life feels so hard. The math doesn't work. 50% effort equals 50% results. Give 80% and watch everything change. Now let's talk about the 20%. This is your sandbox. Evenings, weekends, early mornings, whatever time remains after your 80% is covered. Here's where you explore interests, try new things, experiment with passion projects. But here's the critical difference. This 20% carries zero financial pressure. You're not depending on it. You're not counting on it. You're not stressing about monetizing it. If your photography hobby makes money, great. If it doesn't, also great. If your YouTube channel grows, wonderful. If nobody watches, no problem. The 20% is pure exploration, pure play, pure curiosity. And that's exactly what keeps passion alive. Remember what we discussed earlier? Passion dies when it meets financial pressure. The moment your hobby has to pay bills, it becomes a burden. The 20% rule prevents this. Your passion stays pure because it stays optional. It's a choice, not a requirement, not a survival mechanism. You can say no to projects you don't like, walk away from opportunities that don't excite you. Keep the joy intact, because your 80% already handles survival. Let me give you an example. Sarah is an accountant. That's her 80%. She works 45 hours a week at a firm. Good salary, benefits, retirement matching. Not exciting, but stable and lucrative. Her 20%? Pottery. She takes evening classes, makes pieces on weekends, sells a few items at local markets sometimes. Does pottery pay her bills? No. Does it need to? No. Chapter 8. Your new path forward. We've come a long way together. I've torn apart everything you believed about passion, showed you the trap, revealed the tax, explained the psychology. Now it's time to rebuild, because destroying old beliefs isn't enough. You need a new path, a new framework, a new way forward. So let me give you exactly that, step by step, clear and actionable, starting today. First, identify high-demand skills and industries. Forget what excites you for a moment. Ask a different question. What are employers desperate to pay for? What skills create immediate value? What industries have more demand than supply? Research this seriously, not with your heart, with your head. Look at job boards, not for jobs to apply to, for patterns to notice. What roles appear constantly? What salaries keep climbing? What skills get mentioned repeatedly? Software development, data analysis, sales, healthcare, skilled trades, logistics, financial services. These aren't passion categories, they're demand categories. Pick one, not based on excitement, based on opportunity. Second, commit to 5 to 10 years of mastery. This is where most people fail. They pick something, try it for 6 months, lose interest, pivot to something else, then repeat, again and again, never building depth, never developing expertise, never reaching the level where real money flows. Stop doing this. Choose your path and stay on it, especially when it gets boring, especially when the novelty fades, especially when that shiny new thing tempts you. The magic happens after year 3, year 5, year 7. That's when competence becomes mastery, when average becomes excellent, when replaceable becomes indispensable. That's when the big money arrives, but only if you stay. Third, live below your means aggressively. Earning more means nothing if you spend more. I've seen people earn $200,000 and stay broke. I've seen people earn $60,000 and build wealth. The difference? Lifestyle inflation. Every raise becomes a nicer apartment. Every bonus becomes a better car. Every promotion becomes more expensive taste. Stop this cycle. When your income grows, your lifestyle should stay flat. The gap between earning and spending, that's your wealth building engine. Save 20% minimum, 30% if possible, 40% if you're serious. Invest consistently. Index funds, retirement accounts, real assets. Time plus consistency equals wealth. The math is simple. The discipline is hard. Fourth, build skills that stack. Don't just learn one thing. Build combinations that multiply your value. Sales plus technical knowledge equals technical sales. High demand, higher pay. Writing plus marketing equals content strategy, valuable combination. Management plus industry expertise equals executive leadership, top of the pyramid. Single skills are commodities. Skill stacks are rare, and rare gets paid. Think about what skills complement each other. Build deliberately. Create combinations your competitors don't have. This compounds your value over time. Fifth, use the 80-20 rule religiously. We covered this in detail. Now apply it. 80% of your energy to the money-making path. No exceptions. No dilution. 20% to explore interests on the side. No pressure. No expectations. Check yourself regularly. Are you honoring this ratio? Or has passion crept into the 80% zone? Stay disciplined. The ratio protects your future. Sixth, set your freedom number. How much money do you need to be free? Not rich, not extravagant, free. Calculate it. Seriously. What are your monthly expenses? Multiply by 12 for yearly. Multiply by 25 for a rough retirement number. That's your target, your finish line, your freedom number. When your investments generate enough passive income to cover expenses, you're free. Now passion becomes truly optional. Work becomes truly voluntary. That's the goal. Make it concrete. Track your progress. Seventh, remember why you're doing this. The path I'm describing isn't easy. It requires patience, discipline, delayed gratification. There will be moments when you want to quit. Moments when passion calls loudly. Moments when the boring work feels unbearable. In those moments, remember why. You're not building wealth for the money itself. You're building options, building security, building the freedom to eventually choose passion without consequences. You're building a life where Monday mornings don't fill you with dread, where unexpected expenses don't cause panic, where your future self thanks your present self. That's worth the sacrifice. That's worth the patience. That's worth the temporary boredom. Finally, trust the process. This path works, not because I say so, because math says so. Skills plus time equals mastery. Mastery plus demand equals income. Income minus expenses equals savings. Savings plus investment equals wealth. Wealth plus patience equals freedom. Freedom plus choice equals passion on your own terms. The sequence is predictable. The outcome is guaranteed, if you follow the steps. Most people won't. Most people will read this, feel motivated, and change nothing. They'll go back to chasing passion, back to struggling, back to wondering why life is so hard. Don't be most people. Be strategic. Be patient. Be disciplined. The passion trap is real, but now you see it clearly. You know where the trap is hidden. You know how it catches people. You know why they stay stuck. And you know the way out. Not through more passion, through strategy, through patience, through the unsexy path that leads to real freedom. Your new path starts now. Take the first step today.